My dear friends, very warm welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Mamani. I hope you all are doing good. Dear friends, Christmas is not far from us now, right? And keeping in mind the festival of Christmas, we have decided to give you a small gift in terms of up to 40% discount that is available on our pen drive and tablet courses. Make sure you check out studyiq.com to know more about it. And if you ask me, then I would say that this is one of the best gifts that you can give it to someone, or this is the best investment that you can do with yourself, isn't it? Because it is about your career. With this, dear friends, identify the person that you can see on your screen. Do pass me the name as well as the post or the work that this person is engaged with. Today we have many important items to talk about. We have a focus topic as well that is pertaining to health sector of our country, very important topic. And the first item that you can see on your screen is coming from Department of Space. The things that we are going to discuss are the things that were said by the Minister of Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh, in Lok Sabha. So let's see what he has got for us. He talked about this conscious approach of building up and nurturing industrial capabilities of private as well as public players, right, or public sector when it comes to Indian space program. The thing is, dear friends, what we used to face as a country, or you can say when it comes to our space program, there was a time when we had to import things from different countries. As you can understand, this makes things a bit expensive for us. Many times we face many hurdles in terms of security as well. So this was a big challenge for us, and since 1976 ISRO is nurturing, it is trying to build the capacity and capabilities of private as well as public players so that more and more things can be produced in India. And we can safely say that things are the graph is on a rise. Many private players are one of the biggest supplier of different components and technologies when it comes to our Indian space program. And ISRO is also doing hand-holding thing. Basically, hand-holding means ISRO is providing some expertise, or it is sharing knowledge, whatever it has. Of course, some of the most critical items are not shared for security reason, but other things are shared by this ISRO with this public and private players. And we have seen the results of this thing. I can remember it quite clearly during our mission on Mars. Once it was successfully launched, right after this launch of mission on Mars, or you can say the successful launch, after that there were many reports in newspapers pertaining to different private players from different parts of our country who have provided some sort of components to this mission or to ISRO. And there is a small factory or a company in Gujarat, right, in a city called Rajkot. Over there they have a small factory over there that has provided a very important component for this mission on Mars, and it provides a sort of pride as well to the companies that are associated with this MOM or any other space program of our country. And it is not just a company from Gujarat. There are many other companies as well. There is a long list of private players who are providing something and something to ISRO, and this is going up and up. Now, why we are discussing this thing in detail? Because what happens on an average when, say for example, if you set up a car production plant, then on an average you will find nearly 200 different industries, right? They will get a boost. Say for example, nylon industry, right? Now they have to produce more tires, so they will extend their plants as well. They will hire more people for matching up the demand of this car production unit. Electricity production will go up, and then other things, right, food items. And so you can imagine there are so many things, right, mining and many other things will go up. So it will on an average take with it nearly 200 industry, and this is a good move. This is very beneficial for our our country, a country that is trying to produce more and more jobs. With this, the prices will come down, and as the price comes down, we place ourselves in a very good position in terms of international satellite launch market, right? So more and more countries will opt for ISRO when it comes to launching their satellites, and it also promotes Make in India too. With this, ISRO is with these things, right? Technological complexity and quantum of work, the way things, the complex technologies that are complex in nature, right? And nowadays, they are not that much challenging for our private players as well as different public sector units, because they are getting used to with it, and ISRO is, as I told you, hand holding them, and ISRO is also whilst at one side you can see this sort of things are going on, at the same time ISRO is also ensuring that all these safety measures and documents and other things that are associated with this thing are meticulously followed. And the second thing that minister talked about in terms of space ministry, he talked about this NAVIC, right? I'm sure you know what NAVIC is all about. This is not the first time NAVIC we see NAVIC on board, or it's in news. It's basically a constellation of 7 navigational satellites, right? This is a picture of NAVIC here, and as you can see, it provides us a clear picture of this 1500 kilometers beyond Indian borders, right? And it will be helpful for other countries as well of Indian subcontinent. And the use of this NAVIC or IRNSS, it can be used for both civil as well as military purpose, right? Navy, Army, Air Force, they can use this thing. Back in 1999, when we had this Kargil war, at that point of time, access to GPS was blocked by USA. GPS belongs to USA, and it was blocked by USA, and this made us, this placed us in a very bad situation, because you know that your fighter jets, they rely on this GPS. So at that point of time, it was decided that we should have our own navigation system, and nowadays more and more countries are going ahead with the regional navigation system, because the things, or you can say the picture or the accuracy of things goes up when it is rather than a global one, when you have a regional one. And there are other usages as well. I will quickly take you through it. You get precise timing, very important for your communication network, very important for your data and everything. And we know nowadays our mobile phones, most of them they have auto timing thing setting, right? So that timing is maintained by this sort of satellites. Then you have this disaster management. It is very much useful in disaster management, spreading alert messages and things like that. Nowadays we are living in an era of e-commerce, isn't it? So more and more products are being supplied, or logistic of this e-commerce business relies heavily on tracking where your product is or where the things have reached, and fleet management and ensuring or providing real-time access to your order and things like that are possible because of this IRNSS. The third item and the last one pertaining to this ministry is about NISAR. NISAR is a joint, you can say, joint working or joint partnership of ISRO and NASA. ISRO is working with this Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and it has designed this. They are working on this dual frequency L and S band, and they are producing this NISAR, which is a radar. With this, dear friends, Cabinet has taken many important decisions, and the first one is, or the most important one, is pertaining to textile industry. Now, one of the main reasons why I have used a word called most important, right? The reason why I have used these words because textile industry or textile sector is a sector which is a mass employer. In the same way, you know that infrastructure is a mass employer. In the same way, textile provides jobs to huge amount of people. So any sort of positive change will create a positive vibe in the economy as well. So you can see that it will impact many people in our country. Now, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, it has decided that it is going to enhance the skill of people who are working in this textile sector, and it is going to cover the whole value chain, or the entire value chain, starting from the very initial stage or the introductory stage, like weaving and spinning and everything, right till making your shirt or pant or whatever garments you produce. So value will be added in different stages of production of textile. And once you add value to all these things, right, what happens is that your final product will be of very good quality. And we know that we are exporter, huge, we are top player when it comes to exporting or producing and exporting garments. So this will provide a big boost for our economy. Many jobs will be created and things like that. Government has decided, or the cabinet has decided, to come out with a scheme called SCBTS, which stands for Scheme for Capacity Building in Textile Sector. 1,300 crore rupees is outlaid for this scheme. And now we have talked about objective as well, job creation and adding value and things like that. Second important item, we have talked about this thing a couple of weeks ago. At that point of time, President shared his view regarding the subcategorization of other backward classes, and this is going to be a sort of revision for you. You know, at the same time, we are having a winter session of Parliament, and many of the bills that we have talked about earlier on, we may see in coming days these things will be in PIB news again, and it is a good thing that it will provide us an opportunity to revise about the things that we have talked about earlier. Now this one, the subcategorization of OBC, is of course to identify those classes or those communities or castes, right? They fall under OBC, but they are within this OBC bracket, they are at their they are in the lowest bottom, right, or you can say in the lowest level. And a committee or a commission has been constituted on 2nd October. As you can see, it matches with the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. And the name of this commission is Rohini Commission, because it is headed by retired Justice G. Rohini. Many times you find this sort of questions as well. So please keep this thing in mind when it comes to this Rohini or Rohini Commission. It is about subcategorization of OBC. At present, it is in its work in progress stage. Rohini Commission is basically taking views or interacting with different stakeholders, and then finally, when everything will be sorted out, it will present its report to the President. This is the focus topic of today. It is pertaining to the pictorial warning that we find on different tobacco products. Now, the sad thing is that Karnataka High Court has ruled that 85% pictorial warning on tobacco products is unconstitutional. This is going to be a major setback for public health because this law was introduced in 2016, under which you have to have 85% of the box should be covered with a pictorial warning, in which generally ghastly pictures of people suffering from various types of cancers, right, are displayed. And it is believed that this will refrain people from, or it will basically nudge people to cut down whether they are smoking or chewing tobacco or any other form of tobacco. This was the main central idea behind the introduction of this 85% pictorial warning. And under this law, the tax has gone up under GST as well. You know that this tobacco and products made from tobacco fall under, or they are termed as sin goods, right? And these sin goods are taxed with the highest slab, at highest slab 28%, plus you have cess applied. Cess is applied on this thing, and one of the main reasons for cess is to compensate states just in case if there is any shortfall in revenue under GST system. So this is a sort of additional information for you here, but they are sin good, and rising tax will of course force people to cut down on tobacco consumption. Advertisements are banned. If you see earlier Hindi films or Indian films, songs or other within movie as well, you know that there is a scene in which this cigarette companies are quite visible, but those things are gone now. It is banned. You cannot advertise it. Even in the movies, whenever you find any scene in which any person is smoking on screen, then you find a warning or a sort of warning is being provided, isn't it, as a subtitle. Smoking in public is banned now, and sale to minors. This is a very bad thing, because it is a behavioral thing of our society. Many parents, many elders, they do send their kids to purchase this thing, and this is a bad thing, because then this young boys and girls, they will have confidence to buy this tobacco, and one day, you never know, they will give it a go, they will try it, and they may fall in this trap of addiction. And from there, within school, it reaches its school, and then other boys and girls will fall, or they will get addicted. Generally speaking, boys, right, get their addiction to this tobacco at very early age. Now, so far, the higher prices and things like that, the steps or awareness of health and the negative side of tobacco has resulted in 6% reduction of consumption in last 7 years. When we go through this global adult tobacco survey, then we find that tobacco usage has gone down by 34.6% in 2009 and 10, and 28.6% in 2016-17, which is very good. Youngsters, it was a sort of a trend or fashion in college, particularly, that boys smoking cigarette was considered cool, but nowadays it is out of fashion. Thank God, it is not considered as a cool thing. In fact, it is considered, it projects a very negative side. Right, I'm not saying the person who are smoking are always bad, or they are bad. I'm not saying that, but it gives a negative image, because of the other side we have health consciousness has gone up, and tobacco is second biggest killer. If you go through the report of Lancet, then we find that 65 lakh people have died in 2015 because of tobacco. Now, there are some people and industries that are against this sort of heavy tax and banning advertisement, and farmers who are growing this tobacco in our country, because we are second largest producer of tobacco, and all these industries, cigarette making companies and farmers, they are saying that if we lower the production, or if we are trying to curb this tobacco production and sale, then it is going to cost government with 34,000 crore in terms of tax revenues, and a livelihood of 45.7 million will be in jeopardy. But if we go through Union Ministry, right, in 2011, Health Ministry has said that tobacco costs, or the economic costs that our country has to bear because of tobacco, is 1,04,500 crore rupees, which is a huge amount. So we can clearly say that we need to ban this thing. With this last item, Indian diaspora figure is 16.6 million, which is highest in the world, and we have many benefits of our diaspora: soft power as well as remittance. These are the answers: MEA, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and the picture was of Kambala, which is a predominant sport of Karnataka. Today's questions: who started the newspaper Bande Mataram during freedom struggle? Birendra Kumar Ghosh, Bipin Chandra Pal, Devendranath Tagore, or Surendranath Banerjee? The highest hydropower potential in African continent. The hint here is go through the map of African continent and then do try to answer this question. A is Northwestern Africa, Northeastern Africa, Equatorial Africa, or Southern Africa. And the last one is the deficiency of water in soils is known as hydrological drought, meteorological drought, agricultural drought, or famine. With this, I end this discussion. Make sure you download your PDF from my Facebook page or from our Telegram channel. Make sure you make the most out of this 40% off. I will see you all soon. Till then, enjoy your studies. Jai Hind. Goodbye for now.